So, I don't know what happened in the last couple weeks, but apparently we're getting visited by aliens. And they're here to completely destroy us. Yeah, you don't believe me? Ask Harvard what they think. But no, seriously, I'm not talking about some new comet or weird probe NASA spotted. I'm talking about that movie that just came out, if you can even call it a movie. Look, I grew up loving Ice Cube's acting career. But you know, even he could not save humanity from the absolute dumpster fire his new film unleashed on the movie industry. I never thought a movie could hurt me on a personal level like this one did. So yeah, I'm not gonna waste any more of my time or precious energy talking about this absolute piece of garbage. Don't worry, this video is still about War of the Worlds, but for our collective sanity, let's pretend that last adaptation does not exist. And like always, if you haven't watched this movie, I'm about to spoil the living hell out of it. That's it, you've been warned. I was just a kid when I first saw my first version of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. Yeah, not that one, or that one, but that one. The Spielberg version, written by none other than Steven Spielberg, starring Tom Cruise, Dakota Fanning, Tim Robbins, and whoever that guy Robbie is. I mean, this movie scared the living hell out of me as a kid, but for the longest time, it was also my favorite movie. Not because it was perfect, or even because it had some genius formula for box office success, thought it definitely made bank, but because it gave me the most satisfying ending I could imagine. And wait, I know, before you start leaving hateful comments under this video, let me explain. It gave me the most satisfying ending as a kid who knew nothing about movies beyond big explosions equals good. Just imagine, you see the whole planet get wrecked, humanity practically cooked in less than a week, and suddenly you still end up winning. Your enemies just start dropping dead right in front of you, and you don't even have to lift a finger. But yeah, having grown into a fully functioning adult who pays taxes and mows his lawn, and after rewatching this movie for maybe the 18th time, I can confidently say that my opinion has changed drastically. I mean, this ending is rough. What once felt satisfying now feels like one of the most anticlimactic, low effort, and easiest conclusions a movie could ever have. So, what went wrong, and how could this have been prevented? First of all, Spielberg's War of the Worlds stands as one of the most visually arresting and intense depiction of alien invasions ever put on our cinema screen. Its grounded perspective, seen through the eyes of Tom Cruise's character Ray Ferrier, a flawed and reluctant father, immerses audience in chaos, fear, and disorientation. From the harrowing emergence of the alien tripods to the nightmarish scenes of mass destruction, the film builds an unrelenting tension rarely matched in the science fiction genre. Yet, despite this powerful setup, its ending remains one of the most criticized aspects of the movie. Many viewers and critics alike argue that the abrupt resolution and sentimental reunion scene rob the narrative of its potential emotional and thematic impact. And I think that at the heart of this dissatisfaction with War of the Worlds lies its structural disconnection between its rising tension and its resolution. If you remember, the film escalates through relentless sequences of danger, alien assaults, panicked crowds, and the psychological unraveling of its protagonist, only to completely deflate in its final moments when the alien invaders suddenly die from microbial infection. While this twist is faithful to Wells' novel, and trust me, I love when directors respect the source material, its execution in a visual medium comes across as jarring and inert. Throughout the film, Ray's journey is defined by reactive survival. He flees, hides, and occasionally fights, but he is never positioned as a character who actively influences the narrative's resolution. When the aliens die, it is not because of Ray's choices or humanity's ingenuity. It is because nature intervenes. Yeah, you heard me. Nature. This narrative passivity alienates audiences accustomed to cinematic climaxes where protagonists earn their survival or redemption, and in literature, particularly in the late Victorian science fiction like Wells, such a cosmic irony is thematically consistent. Humanity is small, fragile, and ultimately saved not by heroism but by accident. However, film operates differently. In cinema, audiences engage most deeply with character-driven resolution, where thematic meaning is is intertwined with personal growth. Because War of the Worlds adheres rigidly to the novel's detached resolution without recontextualizing it visually or emotionally, its ending lands flatly in the medium of film. Compounding this issue is the tonal whiplash of the final scenes. After 2 hours of near unrelenting dread and chaos, the film abruptly pivots to a sanitized depiction of safety. Our main character's arrival in Boston leads to a reunion with his ex-wife and children in a suburban neighborhood virtually untouched by the apocalypse. Please tell me, in what world is that even possible? Wait, you're telling me my friend had to survive the crash of a plane, a literal plane, directly on top of his head, while his ex-wife just had to sit at home doing nothing and wait? Like, come on, man. Cause yeah, this sudden shift undermines the apocalyptic scope meticulously established throughout the film. Cities have been leveled, entire populations have been vaporized, and humanity teeters on the brink of extinction. Yet Ray's family appears unscathed, their home immaculate, and their relief almost implausibly serene. The dissonance here is striking. The film's emotional intensity dissolves into a domestic melodrama that feels narratively disconnected from the harrowing odyssey we've just witnessed. Moreover, this reunion oversimplifies Ray's arc. While his journey from absentee father to protective caregiver is clear, it concludes not through earned reconciliation or meaningful sacrifice, but through sheer survival. Also, a more compelling ending would have reframed the bacterial twist within a larger exploration of human resilience. And by the way, the decision to explain the alien's downfall through Morgan Freeman's narration further weakens the ending's impact.
Toll of 1 billion deaths, man had earned his immunity, his right to survive.
While Freeman's delivery is sonorous and authoritative, it violates one of cinema's cardinal principles: show, don't tell. Rather than immersing audiences in the aftermath, the film distances them by summarizing it. This reliance on narration is especially perplexing given Spielberg's mastery of visual storytelling. His best work thrives on wordless sequences that evoke awe, dread, or wonder purely through image and sound. The silhouetted arrival of the tripods, the ferry attack, the alien probe stalking the basement, a similarly visual approach to the ending could have cemented the film's thematic resonance. Imagine, instead, a quiet ending, maybe Ray cautiously stepping through a ruined city, observing collapsed alien tripods, overgrown with weeds and moss. Their skeletal forms reclaimed by nature, birds perch on their hulks, small groups of survivors emerge cautiously, their tentative steps framed against vast alien wreckage. The silence speaks louder than narration could. This shift towards visual symbolism would not only deepen the emotional experience, but also align the film with Whale's thematic intent. It would underscore Earth's primacy, its ability to outlast even cosmic invaders, while inviting audiences to contemplate humanity's place in that natural order. From an adaptation studies perspective, the ending's failure stems from Spielberg's strict fidelity to Whale's resolution without adequate transformation for cinematic form. In adaptation theory, fidelity refers to how closely a film adheres to its source, while transformation involves reshaping the material for the demands of a new medium. Spielberg's film is visually modernized and narratively streamlined, but its ending remains a near literal reproduction of the novel's conclusion. This rigid fidelity clashes with cinematic expectations of closure, especially in mainstream blockbuster filmmaking. A more transformative approach would have preserved the bacteria twist, but reinterpreted its presentation to provide visual and emotional catharsis, precisely the function that the proposed emphasis on resilience and symbolism would serve. Like I said at the start of the video, War of the Worlds is a technically stunning and thematically ambitious film, but its ending exemplifies the pitfalls of adaptation when narrative resolution, character arcs, and cinematic language fail to converge. By resolving its conflict off-screen, leaning on narration over imagery, and closing on a sanitized reunion, it ultimately leaves us, the audiences, unfulfilled. Reimagining the ending through the lenses of human resilience and visual symbolism offers, in my opinion, a path towards resolution that remains faithful to Welles' ecological irony while embracing the strength of cinema. By showing humanity tentatively reclaiming a devastated world and allowing silent imagery to replace narration, Spielberg could have delivered an ending both haunting and hopeful, one that lingers in the mind, not because it fizzles, but because it resonates. Such an ending would transform War of the Worlds from a film defined by its anticlimax into a masterclass in adaptation, a mirror marriage of Wells' philosophical vision with Spielberg's cinematic storytelling, where survival is not merely an accident of biology, but a testament to the enduring resilience of the human spirit.